HIV.
It's more than one strain of HIV?
Yes,
Really?
yes, there's multiple.
Okay.
And so, yeah, because the thing with
You
HIV,
the
HIV is
teacher. I'm the
extremely
student. I don't know anything. I'm honest to God. Like I'm really learning and that's why I'm so curious and I'm asking the questions, not just for myself, but for people that also don't know, but we are afraid to ask questions because it's taboo. It's just not something that's really discussed openly like that. And
right.
so let me just say that I appreciate you for even coming on and educating me
Oh, thank
personally
you.
as a
Thank
result
you.
of it. But go ahead. This
Thank
is
you for
your
having
platform.
me.
This is your platform. You're free to say whatever you want to say, and you're free to come back whenever you want to. I just want to leave
I'm
that.
actually texting my man right now and want to say hi.
You texting? You
Okay.
texting your man?
Yeah. Just wondering if he wants to say hi. I don't know if he wants to say hi. But
If he wants to say
anyway,
hi, oh, I love.
yeah.
I'd love for him to be able to say hi if he wants to. Right after
Yeah.
you though, after you, because I got to
Yeah.
get the rest of this out.
No, he's very a man of little words. But okay, so yeah, so basically you can get reinfected with another version of the virus, which can lead to many different complications because your medication will not be as effective, or it will take more medication to have you in a healthy state. And so,
Wait. Before you educate us, let me say this. You know that the girls is gonna be mad at you, right?
why?
Because there's women out here that complain on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube all day long about how they can't find a man.
Yeah.
And you wind up getting married even after you got diagnosed. How?
Okay, well, okay. To answer that question, women say that they want a man, but they really don't, because if they did, they would have one. Um, and
Ooh.
that's just and look at it from a deep perspective. You have to ask yourself, what do you really want? You know, do you want a man or do you want attention? You know, but anyway, how did that happen? I decided that, like I said, I decided that this was not gonna define me. Like, I'm a person that needs to be in love. Like, I wasn't gonna be lonely because of this.
Oh, this is
And
hilarious. Okay, so go ahead. I'm listening.
yeah, that was facts. Like, I wasn't gonna be lonely because of this. And something that I realized very early on is that me, there's another video that went viral a few times about like me crying, like boohoo crying, about me telling a guy that I was HIV positive, and he asked me if, like, if I gave him HIV through kissing, and I'm like, he was freaking out, like when I'm telling you, like full blown freaking out, and I was just like, no, 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 I'm undetectable, number one, so I can't give you anything, even if we did
I don't.
everything,
So
which we
you
didn't.
can't. Wait. What does that mean to be
All right.
undetectable? Because
Okay,
remember,
so
you got to talk to me like I'm a C student. Because I don't know. I have no clue whatsoever.
So when a person is undetectable, or an undetectable status is basically when you're undetectable, you're untransmittable, meaning that you cannot transmit the virus. The virus is so tiny in your bloodstream that it cannot be detected or picked up by traditional exams. Therefore, it's virtually non-existent. I'm still HIV positive, but I cannot transmit it to anyone
So
via
you living a
sexual
regular
intercourse.
life. You really unaffected by it whatsoever, as long as you stay
A
on top
hundred
of it.
percent. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's honestly more mental. Like, what's worse now more than anything is the stigma. The stigma is worse than the actual disease. And I say that all the time, or not all the time, but I say that often, and people get really offended by that. But the reality is that the stigma is far worse than the actual disease is. It's not what it was in the 80s and 90s, not by a stretch.
It's over 2,000 people that's watching this right now. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe for the channel, and turn on your notifications. And make sure y'all go and subscribe to our channel. The link is in the description. Okay, so
Yeah.
undetectable, but then you date. How does dating go prior to you getting married? What is that like? Like, do you have to
Eh,
communicate it? What do you do? How do you do that?
oh, okay. So I am my own person, so I can only speak from my experience. But basically, um, disclosure is a personal choice. So I know that that sounds very selfish to say, but people need to know this. No one owes you honesty. I am honest because that is who I am,
Mm-hmm.
but people do not owe you honesty. You cannot bet your life and your safety and your health on someone being honest with you, because there are many people that are walking around with HIV that know that they're HIV positive and are not sharing it with you and are not on medication. There are people that are walking around with HIV that don't know that they're HIV positive and are not on medication. And there are people that are HIV positive, they know it and are on medication and are undetectable and are not sharing their status.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then there's people like me that just share their status. But
Why do you have
it's
so much
hard because
courage? Where did you get this courage from?
I think it's just from me resenting myself for not being able to speak up for myself when I was a child. That I feel like I owe it to my younger self to always speak up. And I realized that my vulnerability is my superpower. When I told the guy who blocked me, the first guy that I ever told blocked me, I was so devastated because I was rejected for something that I don't have any control over, and that was something that I wasn't used to. And I don't mean it to be boastful. I mean, I was rejected before for being like crazy and for being slick out the mouth and for all these things that I could control. I was essentially perfect in this person's eyes until I told him that I was HIV positive, and that's where he was like, nah. And so something about disclosure is that when you disclose or when you're vulnerable, period, you are being vulnerable for you, not for the other person. So when you share anything that's vulnerable about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
do it without expecting a person to appreciate or accept you. You're doing it for yourself. And so that is something that helped me on my journey, because this person rejected me, but I didn't tell him for him. I told him for me because I
Right.
knew that I had to go out there and do it. And what he ended up telling me before he blocked me was like, "Don't worry, I got you. I'm not gonna tell nobody." And I was like, "Oh, so you think that you have something on me?" And I was just like, "No, this can't be. This cannot be. Are you gonna? Did you see my text message?" He just got the shower. We'll see if he steps by and says hi. But anyway, um, so that's when I realized that I was just like, nah, I have to own this, because like, so what? I'm gonna live my life in fear and at the mercy of other people. Like that's just not me. Like it can never be me. And so that's when I got my courage. But the courage really was just like no option. The other option was me living in fear for the rest of my life, wondering when someone's gonna out me. And I'd rather out myself before anyone thinks
You
that
took the
they're,
Eminem way. You took the Eminem.
yeah, yeah, basically.
Pretty good. That's pretty
Because
funny.
what do you got to say? Yeah. And
So
so
then,
with
how did you meet your husband?
at the club where I worked at.
And then what did you? I'm at a loss for words. I don't know. I don't know what to ask you next because I got so many
Mhm.
other questions.
Mhm.
All
I
right,
think we're
so
gonna have to do a part two. We're gonna have to do a part two because
all right,
like
you
it's
want to
getting
do a part two?
late. I think
All
I
right,
think
all
we're gonna
right.
have to, because and then I could really tell you things that I couldn't say online, because
All right,
there's things that you
listen.
want to know.
We do a part two under one condition.
What's that?
No exclusives. Nobody else can interview you until we do our part two.
Oh my gosh. Okay. 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 So when is the part two?